Everybody, and welcome to More Books with B. Sharice. I'm your host, B. Sharice Moore. Thanks for tuning in. Um, I told you I was going to be a lot more consistent, and so I am committing to that. But today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about another character from my novel, Dr. Marvellus Djinn's Odd Scholars, which is set to hit stores. Oh, I won't say stores, well, definitely Amazon in February of next year. So that's just a few months. Um, I have a preview on my website of the first three chapters, so you're welcome to check that out. Leave some comments if you'd like, if it so moves you. But today I just really kind of want to talk about one of the characters that's not named Marvellous Djinn, and this character is Elliot Just. Okay, so who is Elliot Just? Elliot Just is a 16-year-old teenager. He is from Washington, D.C., and he is a budding chemist. So I want to talk a little bit about the inspiration for Elliot Just. So, if you've been tuning in, then you know that Dr. Marvellous Djinn's Odd Scholars is a mashup of alt history, magical realism, and steampunk. So have a lot going on in there. But the art history is interesting. So years ago, I used to work at a school in Prince George's County, and the school was not very far from a feeder middle school because I worked in a high school called Just Middle School. And so Ernest E. Just Middle School, just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I would drive by it every day on my way to work. And then, of course, I would hear about it from the students who came from that particular school. And so one day I just kind of looked up Ernest E. Just, and I found out that he was one of the founders of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And today is their Founders Day. So shout out to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Um, and not only that, but he was brilliant. Ernest E. Just was a biologist. He was also a botanist, and he was responsible for several patents. And this is back in the 1920s. And he was just amazing. And so what I've done with this book is I've really inserted, all kinds of different characters from history and a lot of like obscure characters. I'm a fan of injecting folks that we may not, or the average person, I should say, may not have known into the book. So in the book, Elliot Just is the son of Ernest E. Just. And so Elliot is this budding chemist. He is extremely attracted to Dr. Djinn's odd scholarships, and not necessarily the part about the park. Like, he's cool. We want him to, explore this magical amusement park. But because he's not a taint, he doesn't have magical blood. He's just a regular schmegular guy, which in the book I call those ain'ts, people without magical blood. Um, he's interested in this full scholarship to Hampton Institute, and back in 1920 it was called Hampton Institute before Hampton College, and then of course now Hampton University. And so he's like, hey, this is what I'm here for. So the competition is a boys chemistry competition, and Elliot Just decides that he's going to create this elixir for this competition, and the elixir is actually a cure for racism. And he kind of digs deep for this. There's some backstory as to why he wants this cure to succeed, and he also believes that though he's created like a base mixture for this tonic, he believes that Dr. Marvellous Djinn's magic could possibly, make it work. So basically, an Elliot Just creation plus a Dr. Marvellous Djinn's spell or some type of magic that he can locate in the park would make this a game changer for the country and for the entire world. So that's a little bit about Elliot Just, he's a chemist, and he is a bit of a nerd. You know what I mean? There were no blurs back in the 1920s, but if there were, that would definitely be Elliot. But he's inquisitive, he's analytical, he's practical, and in his brain, science is his magic. Science is his magic, and he wants to change the world, and he's hoping that his experience at the Motherland Amusement Park and with Dr. Marvellus Djinn can help him to do just that. So anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Next week, I think I'm going to talk about another character. Not quite sure which character kind of hits me, which one I want to talk about. But I definitely wanted to shout out Ernest E. Just. Read up more about him. Just a fantastic scholar, botanist, biologist. You know, um, Fantastic person from our history, oftentimes overlooked unless you're a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you'll like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll also, in the comments, leave a link to the first 3 chapters of the novel. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. Take care.